Hi, Dr. Joe. Mike Murphy here, founder of Mountains of Hope in Medellin, Colombia. Hey, I apologize for sending you a video, but I tried to write an email a number of times, and I wanted to speak to you from my heart and tell you a couple things. One, I love your work. I first got involved with breaking the habit back in maybe 2018, but what really propelled me forward was maybe it was a year ago. You were in Cartagena, and my wife and I spent a week there, and just you talk about the peace that passes all understanding. That's what we experienced. In fact, after that, when you were last in Denver for the 3-day, we went to that one. But ironically, you cost me a lot of money at Cartagena because I'm building this healing transformation retreat center here in Medellin, Colombia. And we want to take at least one day. It's a lot of education, and we really want to teach some of your work, especially, if you want to change your personal reality, you got to change your personality. And that's what this place is all about. They show up day one, person A, and they leave 2 weeks later, person Z, with a purpose and a mission and clean and healthy and strong and vibrant. Through a lot of that through meditation, which we will teach you. So I'm going to keep this really short. I do have a couple asks at the end. Coincidentally, I published a book in 2018 called The Creation Frequency, based on an experience I had in 1982, where I was in a 12-step program and met a recovering alcoholic who taught me the very, very middle, the center of your teaching, right? No difference between imagination and reality. Pierce the conscious mind, put myself in a self-hypnotic trance, write these powerful intentions as if they already exist, feel them, and manifest them. And it changed my whole life. And I became a very wealthy, successful, typical American guy, an egomaniac with an inferiority complex, successful automobile dealer with an 8th grade education. But I was nobody. And then in 2000, love came into my life. In 2011, the death of that love happened to me, which devastated me. In a blink of an eye, I went from this arrogant, self-centered guy to just a conscious soul full of love, wanting to serve. And so that led to me creating a nonprofit foundation in the San Francisco Bay Area, providing financial grants to women below the poverty line while they battle cancer. And that's where I saw just unbelievable suffering. I liken it to, well, never mind, but it was sad and it was debilitating because we were giving these women $5,000 grants, $1,000 a month for 5 months, where they could, go through the treatment, get better, and go back to work. Only worked about 5 or 10% of the time. Mostly they got sicker and sicker and eventually died. So I threw well over $1 million away, and it wasn't sustainable. So I go, okay, I'm going to buy them water purifiers, juicing machines. We'll teach them how to strengthen their immune system, buy them vegetables, and now they think I'm their doctor and I'm a car salesman. So that wasn't sustainable either, although I love those women. I mean, they had me into their house. I just fell in love with them, but I could tell you the most horrendous stories. So that led me to Colombia, where I had this dream and this vision. I bought this 20-acre piece of property in 2016 with 12 bedrooms. And I've been working on this project. The pandemic set us back a couple of years. I fell in love with a Colombian and got married again. And that set me back a year. And but now we're ready to open. And so Cartagena, what happened? So as you'll see in the little video that we were inserting in this video, we were going to teach in our family room here, which was big enough. We have about 20 people at each retreat, and it's plenty big to teach. But after going to Cartagena and spinning the meditation and lying on the floor and sitting in a chair, well, I had to build a conference center. And I want your permission, and I'd love you to be involved with. I'd love to dedicate it to you and your work. And before I get into that, I'd also like to tell you, I'd love to support you in your work. If we can support you during these 2-week retreats, that would be great. We do 17 a year. That's 34 weeks. That's 16 other weeks a year where we rent this place out, and we can do other things for 5 nights, 6 days. So if you ever want to do something, I'll make this available for you. If you want to do a high-end thing, it's an unbelievable piece of property. Medellin is an unbelievable city, and Colombia is an amazing country. So I'll just tell you, when I went to Cartagena, I donated $5,000 to your charity there that works with the women in the prison. Was the video that we saw. I applied to become a certified teacher. I was turned down. But I think what you're doing, you, Byron Katie, and Bruce Lipton, to me, are the three most important teachers in the world right now when it comes to epigenetics, consciousness, healing emotional wounds, and of course your work, which really covers it all, and the coherence healing. We just did one for someone sick here in Medellin the other day. A lot of us here in Medellin follow you and are embracing your work. A lot of us did the walk on Saturday. Unfortunately, I got very ill because I was doing a parasite cleanse, but a lot of my friends here did that. So you're well loved here. And so I'd like your permission to dedicate our conference center to you, whether we call it the Dr. Joe Monastery, the Dispenza de Monasteria. I'd like to have a conversation with you if you're willing, and we can talk about that. Obviously, we'd love to have you here, but we don't expect that, so we could do something via Zoom. And we'll just put a plaque out there, and you will be a part of Columbia forever. The other ask is that, of course, with compensation, I'd like to license some of your meditations. I don't know if you do that, but I'd like to get permission, pay you whatever it costs, or otherwise, because we're doing our first retreat in 51 days. Otherwise, I got to I've created a couple already, but I got to create another half a dozen meditations that aren't nearly as good as yours. So if we can license those, and we want to have a Dr. Joe Day. The other thing I did is I paid one of your trainers in Florida like $2,400 to go to an event. Unfortunately, I couldn't go, but she still has the money. I still want to go. So we'd like to have a Dr. Joe Day where we bring in one of your teachers, and ideally, if you would agree, be so kind, and again, compensation, be on our faculty and Zoom in for each retreat, which would be 17 times a year, just for a Q&A. We do education from 9 to 10 a.m., and then we do it again from 7 to 9 p.m., and we're in Central Standard Time. But we'd love to present your material, and boy, would it be magical if we could get you to Zoom in for a Q&A. At least I know you're super busy, but if we could get that, that would be great. So really, that's it. We'd love to dedicate. We're going to dedicate this to you. We'd love your permission. We don't want to do it without your permission, I guess. We'd love your involvement. We'd love to license some of your meditations that I absolutely adore and love. And thirdly, I know it's a big ask, but be on our faculty and give us 17 hours a year, and we'll figure out how to help you in your work. All right, Dr. Joe, I hope to meet you someday. Appreciate Natalie introducing me to you, and God bless. So this is the beauty of Mountains of Hope, but this room was always going to be the education room. I even put this board in. Now I got to put the TV back. Get rid of the projector, get rid of the board. This is where everybody was going to learn until I went to Cartagena and spent a week at one of the most profound events in my life. And as a result of spending a week in Cartagena and watching 2,600 people have their lives changed, transformed forever, perhaps, for those that do the work anyways, I now built this Dr. Joe Dispenza Monastery, or Monastery de Dispenza. That's the entrance, be done in about 10 days. So here's the Dr. Joe Monastery. This will be the board where people will Zoom in, other teachers, and that's the entrance from the other side, and is where the students will be. I think there's room for 24 to lay down and do the laying down meditation, and probably 40 sit in the chair, something like that.